The following video will contain spoilers. You have been warned. All alterations to the manga panels and images have been made in order to prevent copyrights. So yeah, let's get started.
What is up guys, Beto here, coming at you guys with an analysis video on Attack on Titan Season 3's ending, named Tomorrow Red, since I can't pronounce this German word for the life of me, by the one and only Linked Horizon. God damn it guys, why couldn't you do the opening? I need my... But Sasageta's pretty cool too, I'm not gonna front. Now let's get this thing started. We begin with a wide panel shot of a flower meadow that is located right outside the walls. Then we pan up to see 3 titans walking towards the walls. That legendary white dove that symbolizes freedom is back at it again, assisting to transition the screen towards the heavenly sky full of clouds. We are then brought back down to little 10-year-old Historia miring those collections of water gas while carrying pieces of wood, and the dove passes by catching her attention, showing young Historia's initial curiosity of what it's like outside of her farmland. The dove then flies through seemingly Shinganshina district before the fall. R.I.P. Zeke Yeager. I never thought I would ever come to care about a character so much in such a short amount of time as I did you. And Sato's mom for me, Reiss, but that's besides the point. This is about you right now, girl. And for what it's worth, I hope Dina got the biggest, fattest, worst cavity ever after she ate you. Moving on, so yeah, the dove is flying towards the location to where Bertho, as the Colossal Titan, will soon appear to destroy Wall Maria, forever scarring 3 particular children in the process. The dove rises into the heavens again. Then we see a shot of Historia's legs surrounded by grass. Notice how the only spot that is free of this growing grass is the spot where Historia is standing, which can be an indication of Historia's feelings of isolation and remaining stagnant, being stuck at the farm. Then we see a rock that is suddenly thrown at her feet, which is a clear nod to Historia's backstory of having a group of children bullying her by throwing rocks at her. Those freaking savages. Depending on which side of the fandom you ask, they might tell you throwing rocks at the person you like is the surefire way into their hearts. The rock then proceeds to cause a ripple, resulting in a frightened Historia falling into a deep watery abyss of depression. As she continues to sink down below, she can see the shadows of the 3 children who bullied her. Freaking vermin, let them rot! We then change over to a luminescent silhouette of Historia on the night of her mother's murder, and then we see the silhouettes of Eren and Zeke Yeager on the night Eren inherited his Titan abilities, which did take place in the woods. Nice touch there. Historia suddenly snapped out of her thoughts and turns around to see Ymir, who is quickly aging through her 3 designs. The first being when she was first found by the Eldian priest and promised to be given food for doing as he says. The second is when she pretended to be the reincarnation of Ymir to appease the Eldians, who hoped and dreamed of finally being free of Marley's control. Then we finally have her in her initial Survey Corps design as she extends out her hand to Historia, representing that she was the first person to befriend Historia when she first began her new life as Crystal Lens. As Historia reaches out her hand to grab hold of Ymir's, her hand phases through Ymir's, signifying the separation of these 2 characters at the end of Season 2, when Ymir decides to help Reiner and Berthold escape as they get swarmed by the Titans. Eren sicked on them. You can also say that Historia's hand goes through Ymir's for another reason. The more literal kind, like, she dead. When you a ghost, there's no tangible hand to grab, you know? Unless you the nun or any ghost from the Conjuring universe. Next we see more falling into darkness, symbolizing how Historia felt lost after Ymir left. Then we see the training corps flag fluttering strongly in the wind, getting us ready for the bombardment of the members from the 104th Cadet Corps, saluting and standing at attention. Alright, so I tried to get the order in which the characters appeared in this lineup. I hope I'm right. I had even used this image as a reference, but I still probably failed. It's pretty freaking hard. I urge you guys to give it a shot. What I have is Eren is the first one, Mikasa's second, 3rd is Armin, 4th is John, the 5th one is Annie, 6th is Sasha, 7th is Ymir, 8th is Bertolt, 9th Reiner, 10th Marco, 11th Connie, and last but certainly not least, at 12th, Historia. Comment down below if you think I made a mistake somewhere. Now back to the ending. After the trainees salute, we see a meadow full of flowers and Historia proceeds to step through it. As she walks by, a dribble of blood flashes through the screen, hinting at the importance of Historia's blood, which is the royal blood needed to unlock the true abilities of the founding titan within Eren. Now Historia continues to run through the meadow to move forward in hopes of finding a brighter future. As she reaches her destination, she sees a past figmentation of Frida Reiss, her older half-sister, which makes sense because that spot in front of the wooden fence was where Frida would often read to Historia, and just in general hang out together. So this is a place with a lot of sentimental value for Historia. Then we get the big final shot of Historia, probably post 1 year time skip due to her hair that is clearly longer than what she is rocking currently in the anime during the Uprising arc, wearing her Survey Corps uniform, standing in front of the fence that had once represented the ends of her past world, keeping her confined and trapped to the farm. She's gazing out past the fence into the beautiful horizon that holds the many possibilities of a brighter and fulfilling future. But we all know how that turns out. JK, alright guys, that was my analysis of Tomorrow Red. I really enjoyed this ending. It gives a pretty good foreshadowing to the future events of the Uprising arc, and gives a lot of insight into Historia's character and past. And since Historia is one of my favorite characters, I'm a happy camper. I just hope Link Horizon comes back to do the second opening for Season 3, because I know I'm not the only one who wants to actually get hyped by the opening, and lose my shit to the sound of... Am I right or am I right? So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed my analysis. Comment down below how you feel about the ending. Do you want Link Horizon on Season 3's second opening? Given the manga, you know they have absolute prime hype material to take full advantage of and show off in the opening's animation. Levi v Zeke, my boys, do I even need to say more? Sorry about that, I got a little too excited there. Now, where was I? Alright, rate the video, share it around. Feel free to subscribe to this channel if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, people, stay gold! And look forward to a My Hero Academia video on Hitoshi's Shinso coming soon.